What's up, America? What's up, Block fam? Because I know it's not just, you know, Americans that watch this, so to all you worldwide Block fam. So, after that awkward intro, I've gotten a lot of questions about what is in a master level Harley technician's rolling tool cart. What tools does Chris use the most? Honestly, like whenever I first started trying to use this tool cart, it was really difficult to figure out where stuff was, but as I started using it more, which is don't ever go up to a mechanic's tool cart and start using tools, ever, without asking.
Don't do that.
Oh my God.
That is a huge no-no. You guys have asked, what tools does he use the most? Like basically what's in his tool cart. I said toolbox, which, so he calls this the rolling cart, and then that's like more of like the toolbox. He said we're not gonna touch that because that'll take 2 days. And he was actually really hesitant to let us film this one because he kind of said it was the underwear drawer too. So in this episode, because so many of y'all have asked us, we're going to show you guys what is in a Harley-Davidson Master Level Technician's rolling cart. This is Chris, aka Sick Wad Glide. You guys go tell him how cool he is. Comment little igloos and all that stuff on his most recent post on Instagram. Let's roll intro and then we'll get to walking through this thing. Cool, man. So you want to walk us through like the, I don't know, most commonly used stuff, top 5? What you want to do?
Everything up here.
Yeah? Just everything in the top?
Everything.
Most easily accessible?
That's why it's up here.
All right, so what are we looking at?
A ratchet lives over here. It's my
Yes, this is
go-to ratchet.
So Snap-on, of course, because he's a professional. The Snap-on is the top of the line.
Depending on where you're at in the world, it's the best quality tool. Snap-on Mac, Mako, all three are pretty much the same. He asked me about fixed head versus swivel head ratchet.
All right, so do you prefer the
Absolutely,
rotating?
100%.
Okay, and why?
So, well, I myself, for example, we'll get into this drawer. Let me grab an extension here. Let's just say we're working on something, and instead of doing this the whole time, I can turn it and just do this with my hand.
Less rotation.
Yeah, it's easier. It saves your elbow. Plus,
Saves
let's
time.
be real, you don't need this much torque on everything you're doing. So if you're working on a primary cover, you really only need this much. If you need more, you've got more. This is very versatile. I also have a breakneck 1/2-inch drive, which kind of does the same. It's considerably larger, but obviously I'm not going to sit here and do this with it, but I can. This is used for pretty heavy stuff. And then another 1/2-inch drive, a little bit shorter. This is a fixed ratchet. This is used for axles and whatnot. Same with that. These are #1 used T27 3/16 Allen and a 1/4 drive Allen. These are top 3. And the top 5, because you asked me that, that's kind of a loaded question, to be honest with you, because it gets pretty wide here, but always a ratchet. Depending on which one, I use a little bit longer 1/4 drive ratchet than a standard length 1/4 drive ratchet. I like this. I also have a longer 1/4 drive ratchet that's breakneck for the same reason. Again, if I'm just doing light work, turn it. If I need to put any heavy torque, I can without using a lot of force. Let's be honest, I'm not a big guy, so to get the torque that I need, sometimes I need a longer ratchet. Yeah, it's not what it used to be. These are 3/8 drive. These are usually for underneath the motorcycle. So, you know, if you're doing a drain plug, you can access a drain plug and get full swing without this hitting the lift. Now, if you wanted to use this one, you could do the exact same thing. You could break it loose and then you could turn it under the motorcycle. So different places, different spaces require different tools. These are all cut out, as you can kind of tell. These are Craftsman that I cut out for different reasons. These are actually used for nuts that might have wires hanging out of them, like your auxiliary lamps, stuff like that. This is for an O2 sensor. These are also O2 sensor sockets. That's what the cutouts are for. All 3 of these are for different things.
So
this
you have
by far the #1 thing I use. This.
Yeah.
It saves me. You see me with this all the time.
Oh yeah, you could save so much time with that.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I would say probably like the first year of me actually working on bikes, I never used power tools. And then once I started using,
it's a good way to learn. It's a good way to start. Like when we get greenhorns in the shop, my rule is no power tools.
Okay.
You have to learn how to use your hands before you go breaking off with a power tool.
True. Yeah.
So once you understand what you're doing, then you can use a power tool, and it saves a lot of shoulder wear, elbow wear, wrist wear.
Okay. So yeah, everything here in the top is what he's using the most. Obviously, we do have some stuff up here.
These are broken tools.
So we've got
these break a lot.
a few broken items here.
This T27s, they break constantly because you'll get somebody that wants to torque their derby cover for some unknown reason or put Loctite on it. Please don't ever do that. If anything, put anti-seize on it. Then when you try to get them off, you snap them. So these I have backups of. I think you know that. I keep a couple in that box too, so when they break, I can replace them.
And then we got like a little snap-on light here as well for, you know, like those darker places, some hex, and then obviously like the style of it is a sticker bomb.
These are all flats on this side. These are Torx, T27, hand driver, T25, and a T20. Those are the three sizes that Harley uses most commonly. These are Phillips. These here are pry bars. That green one over there is also the Big Daddy pry bar. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's an episode where you take one of these out and we're like lightsaber fighting.
Probably, yeah.
Or no, that might have been the long ratchet.
Ah. We do a lot of silly shit.
We are gonna cover some more of this in the future, but Chris is diabetic, type 1, and he always has sugar close by on hand just in case. I'm gonna touch this tool chest for just a second, just for one thing. There you guys go. That's the snack drawer.
Everybody notices that I have Skittles when I'm on the dyno.
There's a reason he has Skittles on the dyno.
I have been in the dyno room and had to have sugar before, so as a rule of thumb, I always keep it around, just in case.
And if you zoom in over there, you will see he has...
You could spend a couple hours doing that, and if you're not paying attention to what you're doing and you're focused on a motorcycle, as a diabetic, anybody out there that deals with this will know what I'm saying. So
sugar has to be on hand, close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is funny because I'll buy like Coke Zero Sugar and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, I'll grab one out of the fridge and be like, you want one? He's like, no, I want sugar.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Who's What's It, while it may look like a prop, it's actually something that he will use.
It is.
So that's everything in the top, and then we do have some shelves on the sides, which, you know, you're gonna put items on.
I tuck away a few things. There's a temperature gun in here. There's
Band-Aids. Those are important.
Yeah, and then
laptop. Igloo, because he's the coolest guy ever.
Oh, listen. Thank you. Units of measurement. So when we're in a cam cover, as we get in the lower drawers, we'll explain that. But these two here is what this mounts to, depending on what we're doing. Let's get into this drawer first. So this is primarily extensions, impact driver. For those of you that don't know what this is for the guys that blue Loctite or red Loctite derby cover screws on, and then you have to put one of these on there, and you turn it, and as you hammer this, it forces it to turn. This is why T27s break, but this is a lifesaver when you need it. A few chisels, primary locking tools, seal remover. These are things we primarily use. Cam sprocket locker tools, primary locker. Some picks. These are pretty cool. Want to stick your finger in there?
Oh, I'm good.
It's for cutting airline or whatever else you might need to do. We've got ignition alignment tool, belt tensioner gauge.
Most important tool right there.
Yeah. You always gotta smell good while you're doing it. Doing a couple little.
It's a little personal area.
Yeah. And this is absolutely a lifesaver, because when you get a splinter in your finger or you get a metal something.
Yeah.
Without one, you're suffering throughout the day.
Whenever we took the front end apart for the chopper, they were giving away, by the way.
The chrome piece.
The chrome was flaking off, and dude, I had multiple chrome pieces in my skin. That would have been a lifesaver.
These are pretty nifty for those of you that don't know what these are for. This is how you lock pick a barrel lock, but this is used to create a key. So if that's your key, I can insert this into your barrel lock, and these push out and they create the key. Well, they actually push in, but this will create and replicate your key, and then I can unlock stuff. So
damn.
If you think you're safe with a barrel lock, no, you're not. I can pick it.
So Chris uses these whenever people drop off their bikes and they don't leave their keys.
Exactly.
Which happens.
These are a little more, some specialty tools, rocker box, wrench. This is for, it actually tells you it's a rear fender bolt wrench. It reaches up under, on a twin cam model, goes all the way up under here and gets that little 240 that lives in there. It holds the fender on.
You got a wrench specifically for just that one.
For just the one.
Damn.
This is for rocker box, or I'm sorry, intake manifold. These the bits for it are in here. Normally these are made into it, but I purposely press them out so that I can put a T40 in it if I want, or I want to use a 316 Allen. So I've made this a versatile tool rather than being a one-time use tool. And actually here's the end that would typically go in it. But as I say, I've got an assortment of ends. These are timing plug tools if you've never seen these. So this is shaved down for a Delcron case. This is for a standard Evo case. I haven't had to do timing in a long time, but I still own them. You always need some sheet metal screws when you're trying to pop a seal out, depending on what seal you're after. It's always good to have some thread certs. So picks,
incredibly useful.
Yep.
I actually just cut my hand with one of them. You guys can see
You did. You stabbed the shit out of yourself.
I did.
And this is actually the most important tool a technician can have.
A pen.
Yep.
Why is it the most important?
Because if you need to write down a measurement, good luck keeping it all in your brain. If you need to write down something that you notice for a customer and they're not here, you need to write down anything. If you work at a normal shop, you're keeping track of your time. Without that, you're screwed. Drawer 2 is kind of a mess. It's always a mess. Pliers and snap ring pliers and hammer. These I use a lot. These are, this is a inner cam bearing installer remover tool for M8s. I know you've seen this. Most of you guys have probably seen this in a video or two, especially when we're working on Goldzilla. This gets used a lot because I'm in there a lot.
For science.
Digital caliper. Always good to measure. We got some feeler gauges. Got a piston pin clip installer, which works on various engines.
I never saw one of those until I worked with you on Goldzilla.
This?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is that tool?
Yeah, but when you saw me use it, you were like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That makes it easy.
Yeah. That's neat.
And then this is also an amazing set.
Yes.
So for those of you that want to know, this is the part number. It's from Mac Tools. This gets you in places that you can't get to with regular tools. This 3/16 Allen is only that deep. That is
awesome.
Yeah, because even with a short body, you've got this plus the height of the head. So you're looking at that deep versus that deep. Like I said, it'll get you in places that
yeah, that's huge.
You can't get to.
I've been trying to order this set for me. I don't even know, probably like a year. It's just always on back order.
It is, because it is very popular.
Yeah.
Bottom drawer. It's always important to have a little touch-up paint, because it doesn't matter who you are or how badass you think you are. At some point, you might hit something and you might need to paint it. These are mini Torx. These again are lifesavers too, depending on what you're working on and where you're working. So if you need to work on an iPhone, this is perfect. If you need to get inside the new switch boxes, this is the one. These are various tools for various things, or various sizes, I mean, for various things. Power tools.
It's like an old school torque.
It is. That is used for inside the crankcase. Where, like piston oiler jet screws, you can check torque on them. You can check breakaway torque. You can torque them. This is also a nifty little torque wrench. Notice the head of it's real narrow, so when you are inside of a crankcase, you can do things in there without actually splitting the crankcase. Makes life easy.
Oh no! What are these?
There's just patches that are in there.
I noticed one of them says Master.
Yeah, they're all over the place, man. It's in my jacket. But it's old school. Double sizes of everything, because if you need 2 1/2 inch, I actually have 3 1/2 inch. Everything else is in 2s, kind of like, what was it, Noah and Ark, everything 2x2. So
Noah and Ark.
Noah and the Ark. 3.
The f***ing Noah, he was such a narc.
He was a fucking narc. And then at the bottom, what do we got?
Couple cams.
No. Yeah, M8 runout tools. You've seen this before. Yeah, that mounts to the crankcase. Here, the flywheel, and goes through here. That goes on it and measures it as you rotate the crank. And then a twin cam one. So M8 and twin cam, depending on which motor we're in. But this is what I use. Everything in here I use on the regular. That's why it's in here. This is fucking bad. Do you have your gun on you?
No.
That'll hold the weight of a gun.
Oh, it's like a magnum pad?
Yeah.
Should be like.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll hold like.
Damn. It's strong. Wow.
Holds the weight. I mean, feel the weight of that.
Yep. Magnetic pads, magnetic bowls. I've got probably like 6 magnetic bowls in my garage. Need to buy some tools for this garage, which we're actually going to do in an episode coming up. We're going to show you guys like how to basically shop for some tools on a budget if you're looking to work on a Harley.
These, right?
Yeah. So we're going to do a budget build on a rolling tool cart for those of you that have been asking as well. Initially, you guys were asking me to do like a top 5 or a top 10 like most used tools, and then whenever I talked to Chris about that, he was like, there is no like top 5 or top 10. It's like you kind of use all of them. It just depends on the job.
Yeah, because every job uses something different.
Yeah.
And every year, motorcycle requires some different tools.
Yeah. There are ones, I mean, that I do always see. Obviously, like this is
always gonna have that.
Yeah, that's your main. So you always have that. You always have an extension on it. Always using, the ratchet and the sockets.
9/16, half inch, 7/16, depends on what we're working on.
This for sure. This is what I always catch this on the workbench as well. Torx, yeah, that Allen. And
that
then
Allen. That Allen.
Every now and then the shorty set, which was what. Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, depends on what we're doing.
And I think you forgot to mention that. That dude, you use this
all
the time. Yeah.
That thing's all beat up.
This is used all the time because you can basically like hit a case and it doesn't hurt the case. Like it's going to be softer material and it'll.
For a case side, I actually use this side.
Okay.
This gets used for many different things, as you can tell.
Yep.
This is a snap-on roll cart, by the way. I'm sure somebody's going to wonder.
The cool thing about these caster wheels is that they all pivot.
I actually changed them out.
Did you?
Because the original cart came with 2 fixed and 2.
That's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Because
so I changed them out to these 4, and these casters I bought at Lowe's. I don't remember, Lowe's, Home Depot, but these are rated for like 1,000 pounds per wheel.
Whenever you close the lid, he's actually made it to where it'll slide right under the countertops over there as well. It is locking. Special mention, the wood. Incredibly helpful. It's just one of those things you need to have if you're working on motorcycles or cars or whatever.
Things, you don't think about.
Like if you need it to like lift up a little bit more. Sometimes you just need that like little extra lift. Yep.
That one's actually sitting on the
lots
wood right now.
Lots of pieces of wood, yeah. This, which would hold it as well, but it's just kind of grabbed what was close, I guess.
This is easier that it can live for a month or 2 on pieces of wood,
well,
rather than sitting on a jack the whole time.
I'm going to do this later in an episode too, but I just want to show you guys something real quick. All right, so I just grabbed like a random handful of nuts and bolts. Can you tell me where some of those go?
Some of those, yeah. Well, this is for a Dyna frame. This would go in the neck here and gusset on a Dyna. This holds a clutch cable on a Dyna or Sportster frame. These look like fuel tank bolts, probably to a Sportster almost. Well, these could be used anywhere, man. These here are shock bolts for Sportster? Dyna, I can't remember. But these are shock bolts. These get used everywhere. Looking at the dirt on them, probably in the frame, lower frame, down in here on something.
Controls.
Yeah. I just don't know what model, because they, like I said, they get used everywhere. Panhead 220 or 45. This is a rotor screw, front rotor screw, or so 45, 245. This would be a rear. Just double check myself because it's been a minute. Yeah, 45. So this would be a rear sprocket, a rear rotor. Black. Oh man, so these get used in multiple places, but typically on an older twin cam style Street Glide, This would be the short one, right? So that hold the fairing together. Most people at home probably go, oh yeah, I've lost them. This is rear fender on a lot of things. New bagger, this would be a rear fender bolt. Holds the strut.
All right, I think we've made the point.
Yeah, I mean, it
like
goes
just
on
a
and
random
on.
box of like hardware. I'm like, okay, here, like what
This
goes where?
goes
I saw
on
him
and
do
on.
this one time, and he like separated out all the bolts, and I was like, holy shit.
Here's an exhaust nut. See
Yep.
the fine thread? That's an older exhaust nut. This is the shock nut, the inner shock nut on a Dyna. Goes on the inside. Bolt goes through. That's that nut.
So I was just doing that as a flex. Whenever I saw him do that for the first time, I was thoroughly impressed.
When did we do that the first time? When you brought the Sportster?
Yeah,
shit?
it was the Sportster stuff, and
you
you were
brought
like,
me a
this is
box
blah,
of
blah,
stuff,
blah,
and
blah.
I'm
You were
like,
just going through,
"Oh,
yeah.
we had to separate."
I was like sitting there, just like my jaw hit the ground. I was in disbelief. So for those of you that have worked on bikes and you've
You know
taken
what,
it
though?
down to like this level.
I just watched you take images and make something on the computer that blew me away.
So I went to school for graphic design. I've been doing that for like a long time. So Chris got to see me in my element,
Yeah,
and
you
like
flexed on me a little bit.
I was just working. But see, that's what you do whenever you're in your zone, in your element. All right, guys. So that is the tour of a master level technician's rolling tool cart. We'll get into episode 2 down the road. You guys do me a favor though. If you have any other questions regarding this, let us know. Drop them down in the comments below, and we will potentially make a follow-up episode with any of y'all's questions if we didn't cover them here. Y'all be sure to go give Chris Sick Wide Glide a follow. Comment on his most recent photo, how cool he is. I got a lot of respect for what you do, man, and the amount of knowledge that you have. Working beside you is always a pleasure, so thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You guys be sure to go give him a thanks as well. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Click that subscribe button. If you guys aren't subscribed, hit the bell icon also.
Still at 60%?
What? I think it's like 62.
62. It's going big. It's getting higher.
It's 58 to
now.
62-ish. Yeah, 62% of...
62% of you are not subscribed.
Yep.
Why? What is the deal?
What are you doing? It's free.
Yeah, just click the That's it.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on the next one. Like a ride safe stay vigilant. There it is. Ride safe stay vigilant. Later.